Welcome to our last session of GrowthLoop Live. Thanks so much for being with us. So up to this point, you have heard from your peers about their visions for change and how they've driven results. Now we want to talk about the fantastic ecosystem of GrowthLoop partners who are supporting companies like these along the way. You're going to dig into the technology our partners are offering and how it's having real impact and how it could even help you. So thank you to our partners, and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. I'm Harmeet Nandre. I'm an ad martech specialist here at AWS. I work closely with many partners and customers on how they can leverage technology to optimize their marketing and advertising efforts. And today I'm going to talk about unlocking hyper-personalization with AI-powered cloud data warehouse. Hyper-personalization is a powerful approach for organizations to connect to their customers on a deeper level. It's an advanced strategy that uses data, analytics, AI, and technology to create these unique experiences based on specific user behaviors to really enhance your customer satisfaction and drive business growth. And one of the technology which I feel is really pivotal in hyper-personalization is generative AI. And many of you will agree when I say that generative AI is transforming how businesses operate. I talk to a lot of folks when it comes to generative AI, most of them speak with a focus on foundation models. While that is important, I feel that it's just the tip of the iceberg because there is so much going on under the surface. And what really powers your generative AI application is your own proprietary data. And in order to create these differentiated AI solutions that have outputs which are accurate, adaptable to unseen data, and personalized for your use cases, what you really need is a secure and performant data foundation. And one of the ways to build this data foundation is using Amazon Redshift. Amazon Redshift is a fully managed AI-powered cloud-based data warehouse that is helping tens of thousands of organizations to modernize their workloads. It helps them unify their data from different sources using features like zero ETL, federated querying, and streaming ingestion, and many more to really power and personalize their applications. Now let's take a look at how AWS and GrowthLoop have been working together to help organizations unify their data and reach out to their customers using with personalized messaging. Now, as you know, data is complex and sometimes siloed, which can be challenging. But by unifying, integrating, and making this customer data accessible, organizations can make more informed decisions. Now, what constitutes this customer data? I feel that it continues to grow. I don't think it's just the basic demographics or your clickstream behavior data on website. I think customer data now extends to the connected devices or your support channel interactions or the content that you create and how it is consumed. So it has become very important to really maintain this persisted and unified view of your customers, which is also known as your customer 360, that provides the single source of truth to derive key insights. And GrowthLoop, as you know, has been helping organizations leverage their customer 360 to activate their customer data through targeted audience segments and cross-channel journey orchestration. And with the help of generative AI, you can now significantly enhance your use cases by providing deeper insights and quickly adjust and optimize your strategies based on the way the market evolves. Now, let me take a simple example to explain you how this works. Let's consider a fictitious retail business called Any Company who is using GrowthLoop and has built their customer 360 on Redshift or Amazon Redshift. Now, this company also captures and stores all this transactional data to related to the product purchases and customer reviews in their Redshift environment. Now, they have a customer experience team who works very closely with other stakeholders, and they want to analyze this customer feedback so they can interact with these customers with the goal of improving the overall customer satisfaction. Now, given the number of daily product reviews, it is not important for it's not possible for this CX team to make contact with each and every customer on their own. So they are really looking for an automated way to personalize customer communication with tailored messaging based on historic data or the past behavior, and also the sentiment and the level of details in the customer product. So let me walk you through how this solution would work. Now, what you see on the screen is a simple reference architecture that shows you how the CX team can fulfill, what is required here. Now, the end user from the CX team uses an application to make a call to Redshift, which is where the customer 360 resides, to generate, personalized emails based on customer reviews. Now, this request makes a call to Lambda user-defined functions in Redshift. Now, if you do not know what these functions are, they really enable you to create custom logic and complex computation that go beyond the standard SQL. So it really enhances your data processing capabilities. So when this end user initiates this request, this function is passing details, to keep it simple, let's just say from the reviews table. So it is passing, the customer name, the product reviewed, and the review itself. You can also bring in, your customers' behavior or the historic data in your query to really add more context here. Now, the next step here is the Redshift UDF will invoke a Lambda function that collates the review details and constructs a prompt that can be then passed to a large language model hosted in Bedrock, which is again a fully managed service that makes foundation models from Amazon and other leading AI startups available through a simple API. Now, the output of the whole model response is then passed back to the end user in Redshift for further action. And you can see the result of the final query on the screen here, and you can see how it is tailored to each individual customer review. So let's dive quickly into one of the reviews to see what the model generated. Now, if you look at the review from Martha, which is on the freestanding fan, it looks like she really liked the airflow of the fan, but didn't really like the noise that it produces. So even though the review has some positive and negative aspects, the model has been able to identify that Martha is dissatisfied and her overall sentiment on this purchase is negative. So the model, if you look at the response here, has tailored an output or a response acknowledging her concern in an apologetic tone and is offering a discount on future purchase. Now, hopefully, when Martha receives this email, it will make her happy and it will, move the sentiment from negative to positive. This is a very simple architectural pattern that you're seeing, where this CX team has been now able to utilize GrowthLoop and Customer 360 to find the audiences with negative feedback and draft a contextualized customer communication to really scale their efforts. This was just an example to show you how you can also use your own proprietary data to develop hyper-personalized strategies. So you can now, meaningfully engage your customers, deepen your, the existing relationship or build new ones, and really improve the customer experience. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions or have similar use cases on hyper-personalization to create this unique and engaging experience for your end users, then please reach out to your GrowthLoop or AWS teams. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Johanna Hughes, and I'm a solutions architect at Databricks, as well as a MarTech industry SME. I'm excited to be speaking at GrowthLoop Live, as well as our recently announced partnership with GrowthLoop. Today, I'll be sharing how Databricks fits into your MarTech/ad tech strategy, as well as architecture, with a focus on composable CDPs. This is a really exciting inflection point in data. We're witnessing the shift to AI in businesses, and marketing and advertising is one of the first to be disrupted and is changing so rapidly. Databricks has been at the forefront of this change and with helping CMOs keep up with the technological evolutions while avoiding vendor lock-in. For those unfamiliar with Databricks, here's a little intro. Databricks was founded 10 years ago by the creators of the open source projects you see on the bottom of the screen. We invented the concept of the lakehouse, which brought together cloud, low-cost object storage, and the ability to do all types of compute and thus all types of workloads in one unified location. And we have been at the forefront of generative AI, particularly with AI governance and democratization. I often hear customers ask, how can Databricks help us with customer experience? Well, the most straightforward answer is that anytime data and AI are in the equation, Databricks can help and should be involved. And we all know that successful customer experience execution relies entirely on data and AI. However important, customers and particularly marketing departments are having real difficulty climbing the data AI maturity curve. We also see that there's a discrepancy in what CMOs and CIOs/CTOs perceive their maturity at. IT teams are generally interacting with and taking advantage of platforms to their fullest extent, like Databricks, that can be fully support an end-to-end data AI solution. But marketing teams are generally left behind in the curve because of the very messy vendor locked-in MarTech platform ecosystem, which includes the traditional customer CDP platforms. Customers are stuck at the beginning part of this curve, the fundamentals, because they don't have a data strategy that supports a single source of truth for their customer experience data. So while CDPs used to be the answer to how to make this, how to untie customer experience data, the siloed stitched together platforms and walled gardens that we see in this ecosystem have really left a lot of marketing teams behind in that AI maturity curve. Again, CDPs are expected to make this easier, but we don't often see that in today's world. And so the solution is to think of the CDP and its corresponding capabilities as an extension of a strong data management strategy and the lakehouse architecture, not something that simply lives off to the side. In other words, it's a part of your holistic data platform. You need to build a strong data foundation that will allow for an end-to-end AI strategy and a single source of truth for the 360 view of your customer that is the foundation of your overall MarTech strategy versus just something that lives off to the side or, lightly interacts with a Databricks, for example. So you want to use, and as this diagram shows an example, sort of foundational implementation, you want to use and extend your foundation to support, clean rooms and CDPs, and as part of your overall data strategy, and not something that's separate from your data strategy. And ensure your foundation empowers your team to tap into tools that allow for businesses to evolve and change, and tools that overall create a one source of truth, one-stop shop, and allow for every kind of persona, data engineers, data scientists, data analysts, to all interact with the platform. Because at the end of the day, marketing data is just data at the end of the day and deserves the exact same attention and care as supply chain data, as IT data, as any of the other data that, is right now really benefiting from these kinds of strategies. And so we really encourage our customers not to separate their customer data strategy from your overall data strategy. And so Databricks is uniquely positioned to be the foundational platform of CDPs and of your marketing strategy. We have a lot of partnerships in this area, as you can see on this page, GrowthLoop being one of them, that can help you be, level yourself into that data AI maturity curve. And we really see that the most successful customers in these implementations are ones that treat their MarTech strategy like almost like a modular building block set. And with Databricks or whatever their foundational data platform is at the center of it, and then these other partners as modular components that interact with it. Here's an example of a composable CDP architecture. And this one is just an example of how, Databricks is involved with that, and where the customer data is very much living in, your foundational data set, but then is shared into the customer data platform that it's attached to, but then also can be shared back into that foundational data set. And so really what's happening here is, if you're using Delta sharing, for example, which is a unique open source protocol that the founders of Databricks actually invented, which requires zero copy and zero ETL, that's really attractive to a lot of customers because then you can appropriately share the data into your composable CDP platform for identity resolution, for activation, but it doesn't have to actually move. So that saves companies a lot of costs when it comes to storage, as well as compute, because anytime data is moving, it's costing companies money. And also I want to point out here that, in this sort of architecture, the composable CDP platform is really focusing on what it's good at, which is the activation, the identity resolution. And then Databricks is focusing on, what it's good at, which is the foundational data strategy, the compute, the data engineering, the data organization, the governance, etc. So Databricks supports different CDP integrations, not just composable. We do support traditional CDPs, and then as well as composables in terms of the built-on native solutions. So we have a lot of CDP customers that are actually built on Databricks, and there's a reason for that, because Databricks provides that really foundational data engineering and data science piece that a lot of these composable built-on CDPs out there really need. So a lot of the ecosystem that you see in partners are actually built, and their underlying infrastructure is Databricks, which then makes it really easy for Databricks to interact with those platforms because they're natively Databricks itself. And then we have a lot of partners where they are interacting with us through Delta sharing. And then we have a lot of integrations with traditional CDPs, such as through Federation or Lakeflow Connect. And so, we at Databricks see how important it is to support these use cases and have a lot of success doing so. And one of the successful customers that we've had in doing this is General Motors, who struggled with their old tools and systems, which made it hard to improve customer loyalty and any other customer experience like use case. And so by adopting a composable CDP architecture, they improved data management and access, allowing for faster data-driven decisions. They actually presented at this year's Data AI Summit 2024 and drew very huge crowds because a lot of customers are looking to see how they can replicate these implementations. And overall, the reduction of complexity and integration of a composable CDP enabled them to identify a large portion of their subscribers that were not part of their reward program yet, and also identify mislabeled customers and just overall clear up their data so that they could have better activation results. The household identification reduction, it helped customer reach, and we continue to see this customer have amazing success in customer experience and growth. That's all I have from Databricks. Thank you so much, and happy to be here at GrowthLoop Live. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thank you for having me. Excited for the GrowthLoop live event. So I'm jumping in. I'm going to go over BigQuery, data, and AI as a platform. But first, just a little bit of background on me, on who's presenting. So I'm Tej, been at Google over 12 and a half years. I was originally a product manager on the ad side, a sales engineer, manager of ML AI ops. I'm now on the cloud side, and I develop cloud data and AI solutions for our sales teams. I support a lot of the ads folks, so work really closely with our GrowthLoop friends. As a background as well, background in data science, cloud sales engineering. But again, I think the overall piece is just showing the combined partnership, but the highlighting really how they leverage BigQuery and just go to where the data's at versus having to cause a lot of challenges for advertisers, data teams. Overall, just a really good solution. I kind of want to take a step back, but essentially, really, what we're looking at is it's kind of an approach that we take. Obviously, say imagine a world where every customer interaction is timely, captured as events. You own the data. Employee productivity has tripled. That's a lot of the comparisons when you think about other SaaS applications, very different than GrowthLoop, but imagine employee productivity is triple. And the decisions are just made a lot faster. Where people get excited, if you're, obviously a marketer, your customers will get in mind. I think data has always been, and even more so moving into the AI world, it's your biggest advantage. Again, I support the sales teams from a data to AI perspective. I think the highlight here, we're the only cloud provider from hardware all the way up to software. We have all of the native integrations, no bolt-on, but essentially to harness the overall power of generative as we move into more and more focus on generating content, just automation in general. There's no other way around it. You have to own the data. And that's another good piece of why we love working, or I personally love working with the GrowthLoop team. It just move fast, but still not change a lot of what's happening in the background from a data perspective. But I think moving from the ads world to the cloud world, we often made the technology a little bit more complex. We were selling a bunch of individual solutions. Really, our goal is to make technology less complex so that, customers, the folks that I work with, inclusive of GrowthLoop, I think they do a really good job at this. Take those really sophisticated solutions or services that are GCP services around BigQuery or Vertex, but really overall just composing them with our composable CDPs such as GrowthLoop, just to help marketers move a lot faster, just to create those overall customer exceptional experiences. Google, we want to be your partner along that AI transformation. And I know that GrowthLoop has a lot of the Vertex or AI capabilities, but they're really focused on the same thing we're focused on when we talk to our ads friends, but really just developing a holistic view of the consumer, just establishing a better, more focused marketing data foundation, centralizing all of the marketing data in one location. And then prediction. Everybody's looking for something of incremental value, and that's a lot of the BQ or BigQuery machine learning, predictive audiences. This isn't including, AI has been around for a year, but you need machine learning to be able to get to AI. But it's exciting to be able to kind of help support the chief data officer, the engineering and the data teams, inclusive of the marketing teams, and go fast. Again, that's another area where GrowthLoop has really helped us. And when we talk about generative, the big piece of this comes down to people efficiency. Unlock people efficiency so the teams can be a lot more creative and move fast and still solve the overall, day-to-day challenges of marketing to the right consumers at the right time. But I wanted to just give some examples of when we talk to customers across all different brands, across all different verticals. I support all of them in a few buckets with our sales representatives, our technical teams, inclusive of all of our ads counterparts that are supported by our large customers or client services. But when customers adopt these types of solutions, inclusive of applications that are composed, right in line with GrowthLoop, we start to see these types of success numbers, right? So all the way from conservative to the best on average. We see really, really good. These numbers are related to return on ad spend. Very high level KPI, return on ad spend up, cost per acquisition down, but there's a lot of subcomponents, but we do see this type of success across customers that adopt BigQuery, Vertex, and really innovative solutions such as GrowthLoop. We see these types of outcomes. These are just highlighting what I focus on, and GrowthLoop helps me and the rest of the team that I'm on enable a lot of these pieces. So our data and AI platform, our go-to-market really focuses on really understanding customers' overall marketing or just their data infrastructure. How do we develop that holistic view with cloud solutions, whether it's partner identity resolution or BigQuery native identity resolution solutions? It really starts to come together with all of the other components that I focus on. So data clean rooms, media networks, generative data strategy, all of this really comes together from the data and AI cloud platform, or data and AI cloud for marketing being BigQuery centralized, so that you can do more in that generative space. Applied AI versus all the other, not versus, inclusive of all the other ads platforms that still allow for generative, just the people efficiencies. These are the big buckets that we focus on, and GrowthLoop really helps enable this. But I'd be remiss to say again, the fully integrated solution, BigQuery and Vertex, we unify everything as a single platform that powers data to AI, and GrowthLoop helps teams move really fast in those scenarios. This is what I really like showing the customers, because it really shows the synergy between both GrowthLoop and GCP, right? So if we look at this from the top down, GCP, BigQuery, Vertex, and then our features and functionality, that's all kind of a vector-based approach. Don't make any changes to your data, or if you're talking about making a marketing change or a business decision and applying an application to market to all of those downstream channels, a CDP or a composed CDP is the best type scenario, because if you make a small business decision up front, it could have a ripple effect to the data teams. GrowthLoop enables folks to move really fast in this type of scenario. So this is one of the many reasons why I enjoy working with the team. Also, I'd be remiss to say, working closely with Mary and Anthony and the rest of the folks, even, some of the, newer sales folks such as Jack, these folks lean in really, really well. That we've been able to solve some big problems, but still not cause any friction amongst like the broader organization. And again, just best of Google, all on GCP. We still look at all of the other applications that are on GCP, still kind of in that marketing world, but still addressing the broader organization, still moving fast with folks or software vendors such as GrowthLoop. But if you think about GCP plus GrowthLoop plus all of these other services that we apply, again, just highlighting that number that we see, that return on ad spend up on average 15 to 30%. But again, really thanks to the GrowthLoop team for helping kind of like our broader teams really start to continue to move forward and win and support our large customers and new customers. These are just other areas, but all of these other software applications such as Google Ads, Google Analytics, all of those are on GCP. It's great to have GrowthLoop involved with that as well. These are just other areas in those KPIs and the other brands that we work with. We just see a lot of folks capitalizing on the opportunity, developing holistic view of consumers, AI-driven personalized recommendations, just increase on return on investment. Again, that's data consolidation with those go fast applications, improve demand forecasting. Again, leveraging a lot of those insights so you can be smarter about budget allocation. Different channels mean different results, so you want to be able to bring those together. But adding the data and AI together with applications such as GrowthLoop or even just Vertex and BigQuery, we see a lot of these really solid, innovative solutions. So automating marketing campaigns, dynamic creative, or even just a lot of metadata extraction for creatives. So supporting a lot of different teams, creative teams, data teams, marketing teams, technical folks, and non-technical folks all together. Again, just highlighting how we work together with GrowthLoop. We have a lot of GenAI for marketing solutions and packages. This is really where I love the support from GrowthLoop is any of these solutions that we're building out on our team, GrowthLoop is always adaptable and helping support our scale and just supporting us in these types of ads plus cloud types of scenarios. So again, I probably took up too much time, but I really appreciate it, and I hope everybody enjoys the event. So thank you to GrowthLoop, and thank you everybody else.
Hello everybody, my name is Thomas and I'm CEO and one of the founders at Gentis. Gentis is a European product company offering a server-side tracking solution. In the next few minutes I would like to share with you the problem we are addressing, the solution we are offering, and last but not least at the very end, a very new feature at Gentis. Starting with the problem we are addressing, we have really big issues with the data quality. Only 30 to 40% of the data you are tracking to your analytics systems or to your ads systems are addressable and you can use for your online marketing activities or for your AI projects. This is caused by ad blockers, for example, by virus scanners, by different browser restrictions like Safari, like Firefox, like the Microsoft browsers. So the bad news is only 40% with client-side tracking you can use for your online marketing activities. Let's think about a visitor who is visiting your native app or your website and typically come from a source like Google or social media source with different touch points getting in interaction with your website, with your native app, and hopefully at the end convert means buying something from your website. Obviously, you don't have only one visitor, but many visitors. Many visitors are using different browsers, and each of these browsers does have different problems. So the bad news is, based on the problems with the browsers, based on ad blockers, based on virus scanners, one visitor is not captured as one visitor, but as multiple users. So let's think about one example I would like to share with you. Let's say you have a campaign A, one visitor is coming from the campaign A, does have some touch points, and at the end, this visitor is converting and this visitor is buying something about 95 euros. What you capture with client-side tracking in your analytics and advertising systems is 3 users instead of 1 user, if we think about 3 touch points. So if you think about this example, you captured 3 users, you had 1 session per user, the campaign A did not convert, so €0 for the campaign A, and the conversion rate is 33% because only the last user of the 3 captured users was converting. In real, what we would like to capture in our analytics and ad systems is 1 user, 3 sessions per user. The campaign A converted, means €95, and the conversion rate is 100% instead of 33%. So based on this comparison, you see how dangerous it is to work with wrong data based on client-side tracking. The solution is server-side tracking. So on the left-hand side, you see client-side tracking, which means you're implementing different pixels directly on your website or directly on in your native app. And these pixels are capturing data and send the data directly to the data receiver, third-party data receiver, like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics or Meta, TikTok, you name it. On the right-hand side, you see the solution server-side tracking, which means you're installing only 1 pixel, which is the server-side tracking pixel. The data are captured only once, sent to the server, and on the server you can manipulate the data, like you can enrich the data, you can reduce the data, you can anonymize the data before you send the data to the third-party data receivers like Google Analytics or Meta. With server-side tracking, you get back 100% of your data quality, which means all the visitor journeys are captured fully correct, which means even you are in the controlling position of the data. The data are first sent to you, controlled by you before you share your data with third-party data receivers. And last but not least, less pixel in the front end, website or native apps, which means an optimization of page speed and a better SEO rank. Very important if you switch to server-side tracking is compliance. Even with server-side tracking, very often you need to ask for the consent of your visitors. So with Gentis, fully automatically. You can connect your CMB, content management platform, with the server-side tracking engine without building anything. This is an out-of-the-box solution. Very important, whenever you switch to server-side tracking, that you can use the tools you're used to. With Gentis, we are offering more than 120 connectors ready to use out of the box to your favorite tools like Google Analytics, Adobe, Meta, and many, many others. One example I want to share with you is one of our customers, Pixum. They are producing photo books, and here we had the comparison between client-side tracking, then they set up Gentis and the data of server-side tracking. With server-side tracking, we could correct 55% of the customer journeys, which means 55% of the customer journeys were wrong with client-side tracking. Based on the better data, they could improve their campaign revenue by 176%. One example more in detail is single session conversions. Pixum thought that 24% of their conversions were made in the first session, which was not true. With server-side tracking, we could identify that only 1.4% of the conversions were made in the first session, which caused a huge shift of budgeting and which caused new decisions based on the better data. So with the better data of server-side tracking, they decided to spend around 30% more money to their campaigns. They could achieve more than 50% more reach. And at the end of the day, like I already shared with you, they achieved 176% improvement on revenue, which means an improvement of 110% of ROAS, return on ad spend. One brand new feature I would like to share with you is called synthetic users. This is a feature which is calculating users based on data we have, for example, consented users, and we can recalculate the user objects, including all the parameters, including IDs, including what we need for online marketing of users we do not capture originally, but based on the other data, we can recalculate, extrapolate data to build synthetic users. And these synthetic users are available for all the tools you want to work with, like Google Analytics, like Adobe, like Meta, like TikTok. So if you want to know more about Gentis, just connect with me on LinkedIn or visit our website where you can find all the case studies I shared with you today. I wish you a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
Hi there. I'm Jason Downey, US CEO of Making Science. We are excited to be a part of GrowthLoop Live and thrilled to be an implementation partner of GrowthLoop, providing data readiness, activation, and measurement and insight services to complement GrowthLoop's industry-leading composable CDP. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Making Science to set the stage before Nick walks through a few of the specific ways we partner with GrowthLoop to accelerate data and AI for marketing. We're a global company of over 1,200 employees in 15 countries with Google Ads and cloud expertise and over 400 data and cloud engineers on staff. Our US leadership team is made up of seasoned Google alumni with collective experience across a variety of teams. In the US, we operate as a data agency of record, built with collaboration in mind and eager to work hand in glove with media agencies and in-house marketing teams alike. Our team drives results by helping customers build bridges across internal marketing, analytics, and IT stakeholders. We are a rare services and tech partner that spans cloud, GMP, and media, and we have the Google Ads and cloud certifications to prove it. Making Science's mission is to make data useful for marketers and agencies, transforming the contents of site analytics, CRM, and cloud platforms into assets for media activation and measurement. I'd like to give you a little bit more detail on our services. Making Science is a certified sales partner with the ability to resell the full GMP suite. We offer competitive rates as well as transparent support and service models. In ad tech, ranging from Google Ads and GMP to tag management and data foundations, we offer expert consulting and implementation services to help brands and agencies leverage technology to drive media performance. For analytics, data quality and integration of online and offline data is a core competency. We unlock the value of our customer data assets. In terms of first-party data solutions, we bridge gaps between marketing and IT with an emphasis on data pipelines for ads, including enhanced conversions, consent mode, data import APIs, and more, and cloud for marketing, data migrations, data warehousing, and data visualization. Think Looker and BI. And finally, consulting around privacy. Making science, we believe that privacy is not at odds with performance, but user expectations, browsers, and regulations have changed the way advertisers leverage data. We help brands navigate content management UX, APIs that mitigate signal loss, and first-party data capture and governance plans. I'll now turn it over to Nick to go into more detail as to how we will work with GrowthLoop.
Thanks, Jason. Given our focus on enabling data and technology for marketers, we found several natural areas of collaboration with the GrowthLoop team. At Making Science, we're huge proponents of the composable approach and are excited by the AI innovations that GrowthLoop has been able to bake into their offering. To set customers up for success and help them get the most out of their tech investment, we found 3 key areas where our team can help accelerate the AI loop. The first is data readiness. The most literal translation of good AI requires good data is establishing a data warehouse or customer data architecture strategy. Our data architects, developers, and engineers take a deliberate approach to data set identification, migration, and governance, as well as profile creation to establish strong foundations for GrowthLoop deployment. Next is AI for activation. We found many customers want to own and iterate, not simply rent their models. So our data scientists help marketers get the most out of their data by using BQML and Vertex to deliver cluster models, propensity scores, predictive LTV values, adding columns to customer records to enhance profile utility. Last but not least, our data scientists help marketers use data for more complex measurement strategies, ranging from MMMs to attribution and experiments, while our Looker developers champion data democratization, including Looker blocks, custom development, other customizations that improve reporting, insight discovery, and most importantly, actionability. Thank you for your time today. We're excited to partner with GrowthLoop and you as you embark on your journey through the AI loop.
Hi, thank you for joining my session today. I'm Neil Brookman from MetaRouter, and today I will be talking through how to maximize the potential of your customer data. Good customer data strategies start a good data collection. Your CDP, like GrowthLoop, is only as good as the data you're storing, so you need to get more and better data into your CDP. You need to get more behavioral data into GrowthLoop. Ad blockers and browser restrictions are hindering the data you can collect from your website and causing data blind spots. You need to be able to track anonymous users and ensure you have persistent anonymous IDs to track repeat visitors and also track the anonymous to known journey. You also need to ensure you have the user's consent opt-ins when sending data to GrowthLoop to ensure you don't accidentally use the data in a tool that you don't have consent. You should also look at data governance at point of collection too, rather than cleaning it up downstream in multiple tools. Let's talk about how to collect more data. Did you know that ad blockers don't just block the ads? They block the scripts that are used to show the ads and also the scripts that are used to collect data. This means that a visitor on your website with an ad blocker will stop data flowing to a number of your third-party tools, causing big data blind spots. Globally, approximately 42.7% of users are using an ad blocker, so you're missing out on a big chunk of your visitor data. What events are you storing in GrowthLoop today? Wouldn't it be better if you could send your full analytics stream into GrowthLoop to be able to produce better insights, better segments, and do better targeting? This would also include information for when the anonymous visitor becomes known, either via a form fill, a login, a registration, and more. Here we're talking about Allegro. This is a joint GrowthLoop and MetaRouter customer. And these are some of the stats that they've returned to us. By moving event collection server-side and fully first-party, they're seeing greater than 30% more events in all channels, including Meta, TikTok, Google, and others. By removing third-party tags and scripts, their website is loading much faster, and they're now flying up the search engine rankings too. And they're also seeing greater than 40% higher return on investment across their platforms because more data is being sent better quality is being sent, and they're able to unlock the full potential of each platform. Now let's talk about expanding reach and targeting anonymous users. As most of you know, an average person has fragmented dynamic identity. You need to be on top of this so that you can see each person as a single person and not treat them as 5 different people in this example. You need to be able to do better identity resolution in GrowthLoop to ensure you're joining everything together correctly and ensuring you have the most accurate data when doing activation. MetaRouter can help improve identity resolution in GrowthLoop by sending in a persistent anonymous ID and then sending in all of your third-party vendor IDs, such as the Google ID, Facebook ID, Pinterest ID, and more. By moving your event collection server-side, you unlock a rich ID graph with all of the IDs that your third-party vendors would typically generate as part of their tags and pixels, but doing this in a first-party context and having visibility of all the IDs to send to GrowthLoop and other downstream tools. You currently have lots of third-party scripts and tags running on your website, all collecting similar information and sending it to their tool somewhere in the world. If you move to server-side event collection, you can collect the data once and only once, ensure it is consented, apply data governance rules, and make sure it's in the format that you are happy with. Then and only then send it to your downstream tools, send it server-side, and send it in real time. It would also be very beneficial to have a persistent cross-domain identifier for your visitors too, persistent across all of your top-level domains, not just subdomains. Then you can see behavior across all of your websites and use GrowthLoop to do targeting for all the visitors' behavior and not just use siloed information for a single website. Lastly, let's talk about data quality. The data quality problem becomes worse with broad accessibility, data silos, inconsistent practices, and use of data. Without IT and the data team's knowledge, and with disparate data pipelines and internal data silos applying inconsistent controls, maintaining data quality becomes extremely challenging. Data consumers are often given access to poor quality and non-compliant data, leading to significant issues once they begin using the data. Furthermore, some individuals may utilize their clout within a data immature organization to gain access to data they simply shouldn't have. So you need to shift left. Shift identity enrichment, compliance cleanup, data normalization, and data structuring to the point of collection in real time and in transit. Then you know that all of your downstream tools have data that is governed and compliant. And this is a quote from a joint customer, Allegro in Poland. We wanted to make sure that the data quality that is fed into the CDP is the highest quality. We are getting billions of events every day, so making sure we fix the leakage of our data stream was super important because the CDP can only work effectively when it has the right data and the right inputs. So you need to future-proof your customer data strategy. GrowthLoop receives clean and compliant customer data in real time without new site updates or libraries on your website. All data processing to GrowthLoop occurs within a private cloud environment. This solution helps you adapt to changes in GrowthLoop data models without site updates needed. And you can get 30% more addressable user profiles in GrowthLoop and can more easily power anonymous activation. And you can easily integrate with all third-party vendors for consistent and reliable data across your entire ecosystem, not just in your data warehouse for your CDP. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my session. Feel free to reach out if you would like to discuss anything in more detail. Thank you.
Marketing is evolving at an unprecedented pace. With an explosion of digital touchpoints and channels, an increased urgency for personalization, the emergence of Gen AI, and a shifting privacy paradigm, marketers need a robust data foundation to navigate it all. To meet the growing demands of customers, marketers across every industry need a unified view of all customer and marketing data in a highly governed and easy-to-use data platform. Introducing the Snowflake Marketing Data Cloud. The Marketing Data Cloud empowers organizations to simplify complex MarTech architectures, deliver superior customer experiences, and maximize marketing and advertising ROI. With the Marketing Data Cloud, marketers can leverage their single source of truth with native AI capabilities to power their end-to-end marketing lifecycle on a common data layer. Through Snowflake Marketplace, marketing departments can seamlessly access a catalog of best-in-breed marketing and advertising data products and applications to support the full breadth of their marketing use cases, from intelligent planning and activation to granular measurement and optimization, all on a single, easy-to-use platform. Organizations can build trust and protect the integrity of their marketing data foundation with built-in governance, security, and compliance capabilities. And with the Marketing Data Cloud, they can use data clean rooms to mask and collaborate on their data without ever exposing it, empowering marketers to compensate for tracking limitations and signal loss, and navigate the era of first-party data with confidence. Enjoy simplified, faster, and smarter marketing with the Snowflake Marketing Data Cloud. Snowflake.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marushi, a marketing leader at Typeface. Typeface is the enterprise Gen AI platform for personalized AI content and campaigns at scale. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about who Typeface is, how leading brands and Fortune 500 companies are using Typeface in action today, and how we partner with GrowthLoop and leading MarTech vendors in the space to really deliver end-to-end AI-first content workflows. Typeface has been at the forefront of solving the elusive challenge of really driving personalized content at scale. And how we do that is by combining the breakthrough, the speed, and creative possibilities of foundational AI platforms across the board with deep personalization of AI against your data, your brand guidelines, your audience segments, and more to create and generate really targeted, relevant content across all your different channels. That could be email campaigns, customer journeys, paid media campaigns, social media posts, SEO content, and more. Our platform is Typeface Hub, and what Typeface Hub does is it takes the best of breed of all models across every content type. So that could be text, images, videos, and more, and combines that with our brand personalized blend AI, which is uniquely trained on your data, your audience segments, your products, your brand, to then create more tailored content and more relevant content to you. That is channel specific, audience specific, and geo specific. We surface this to make it really easy in a SaaS platform that has all the AI templates and AI tools and workflows that are really built for any team to log in and start creating very quickly without a lot of extensive AI or prompt knowledge. We bake in a lot of intelligence into the platform to make it really easy and make the workflow more intuitive for a marketer logging in and using AI for the first time. And our platform, to really make this possible for enterprises to harness AI in their environments, is integrated across all our different platforms today, which is something we'll talk more of in this presentation with how we work with GrowthLoop and other MarTech vendors to really turbocharge that delivery across channels and use that data to really personalize and ground the AI. And because safety is a non-negotiable in this space, we built Typeface with brand safety in mind and responsible AI practices in mind. So there's a lot of foundational principles and layers of trust in terms of how we give brands control over how the content is generated, as well as making sure that the use of AI, the prompts, are all following ethical and safe best practices. Earlier this year, we introduced Typeface Arc, our next product that takes all this individual content you've created at scale with Hub and weave it into really cohesive, multi-step, multi-channel campaigns. So what Hub does is it takes your goal and it goes beyond prompts to just understand your objective. It gets all your context from relevant integrated systems. And from there, it curates an entire campaign for you at once. So now you have a multi-step, multi-channel journey or campaign where you can go into each piece of content moment, see curated feeds to choose, collaborate, and create that content. And then with one click, publish it directly and hydrate your platforms where you can activate these channels. Lastly, it learns from content feedback and insights, so that way your content is always evolving and improving, and you get next best content recommendations on how to take action on these insights. One of the core principles of Typeface is powering a very open, integrated Gen AI partner ecosystem. We know that AI cannot sit in your island, and to make your workflow for content truly end-to-end, it must be able to integrate with your systems to first understand your data and your context, as well as then be able to hydrate your native platforms and publish the relevant content directly where it needs to be so that you can have and orchestrate these multi-channel journeys and campaigns very easily. So what we do today is we integrate with your DAMs, your CDPs, your journey orchestrators, and more to use that data to provide more understanding, either train the AI model, understand your context, or to create more personalized content. And then we also integrate with your email platforms, your social media platforms, paid media, and more to then hydrate those platforms with the content generated so you can activate and learn from those insights. Here's a quick kind of overview on just some of the platforms we work with. We have connectors across all different types of categories of integrations, whether that's from ads platforms, digital asset management, CMS, CDP, and more, including GrowthLoop. And how we work with GrowthLoop and our CDP connected providers is you can actually now take content to the next step, is activate all those rich audience insights with targeted content. So if you use GrowthLoop today to really analyze that customer data and use the power of natural language to easily define natural segments, then you can quickly activate those data segments with targeted content to them with Typeface and publish that natively to channels like Google Ads so you can get that content live faster and easier than ever before. One example with how we did this is with a Fortune 500 automaker that launched a multi-channel paid ad campaign at scale with Typeface and GrowthLoop and Google. The way they did this was they used the audience segments that they had created within GrowthLoop, and with Typeface, they quickly generated over 700 personalized ad variations with 150 images tailored to those specific audiences. So these were different ad creative where they created different models of assets, background scenes, copy, and more, so they can quickly test and figure out which ad variation was working for each audience segment. This was in contrast to their former approach where, given they had a year-end sales event and very limited time to produce this creative, with traditional methods, they were going to be limited to one generic creative for all their audience segments that didn't even include an asset of their cars. So with Typeface and GrowthLoop, they were really able to activate those audience segments they created with very targeted ad campaigns. And they were able to achieve this at over 57% productivity savings combined to their traditional approach. Here's a kind of a quick showing of how you can actually use Typeface Live. As you can see here that we have several templates to choose from. You can integrate with your DAMs or your asset library to bring in your assets like product shots, and then use a Typeface template to simply input your parameters for your Google ad campaign and get multiple variations of headlines, subject lines, images, and more to create different ad variants for testing. And because we're natively integrated with your platforms, you can see we publish that content directly into your Google Ads Manager so you can preview and deploy those ad creative across different channels. Ad creative is just one of our core use cases. We also have content use cases across email customer journeys as well as SEO and digital content. So here we have a Fortune 500 energy provider that was using typeface more for their text needs and their content needs. And for them, they had a calendar and needs they need to meet for their SEO keywords and to boost their traffic. So with typeface, they leverage our templates for blog posts and SEO optimization to import their keywords, import their topics, create everything from blog outlines to entire blog drafts, and be able to increase the volume of content for their top of funnel needs. As a result, they found they had 65% higher engagement on typeface generated blogs with humans in the loop for review, editing, and approval versus traditional blogs. One of the ways they effectively did this as well to create that volume is really through our blend and transform templates, where you can take different content libraries and drive mileage from your existing content library. Think your videos like webinars, keynotes, existing content, long form white papers, or ebooks, and transform those into net new blogs, emails, social posts, and more by simply entering a URL and prompt. Thank you so much today for listening a little bit about typeface. If you're interested in anything that I mentioned today, please visit our website at typeface.ai or reach out to our sales team so we can set you up with a demo and walk you through how we deliver a very personalized use case roadmap for our customers and really drive change management so they can effectively use AI today in their org. Thank you.
And with that, I am incredibly honored to bring GrowthLoop Live, the first ever GrowthLoop Live, to a close. This has been an incredible day. Thank you to all of you for joining us for this event. On a personal note, I am so pleased to see how it's come together. So pleased to hear these talks. I've learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot. It's really a wonderful moment when you have such passionate people come together to share their stories and what they're learning so we all can benefit together. It's such a wonderful thing. For housekeeping, you should know you will get recordings, you'll get takeaways, you'll get the slides. We want you to continue using this content. Think about it for the new year and how you might want to use it to grow and support your own business. I want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to our partners, to our presenters, to the GrowthLoop team that brought this to life, and to all the attendees. Really, our goal was that you felt inspired by what you heard. You now feel the courage to drive the change that you may want to drive so badly, and you wanted to hear how others have done it so you know you can do it too. We wanted you to feel motivated to see what is possible, what has been possible, so you can bring your organizations forward, because this is such an incredible moment. This is a huge inflection point, and it's your opportunity to think about how you want to move change forward, your data that is at your side, the technology that can support, and really see the impact you want to drive. So here's to the change makers. Here's to you. Thank you for joining us for GrowthLoop Live, and we can't wait to see you soon. Thanks.